The two of them were in Sidious's lair, a small, rock-walled enclosure beneath the deepest of the palace's several sub-levels that had once been an ancient Sith shrine.
The Jedi Temple was thought to be a place of peace during the days of the Republic, a symbol for justice and a reminder of the Jedi's watchful eye on galactic events and the lives of all citizens.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic.
But what dark secrets were hidden inside this supposed Temple of Light? What great and terrible dangers had the Jedi locked away, foolishly thinking that they would be safe while hidden within? Today we are talking about the Jedi Temple, and exposing the darkest secrets the Council thought they could bury inside, and what role the Temple played in the Jedi's clouded vision.
The dark side of the Force has clouded their vision, my friend.
Today's video is brought to you by Raycon, which is awesome for me because they are actually the wireless earbuds that I personally use. They are super awesome. You just open them up and they connect right to your phone, Android or iPhone, doesn't matter. I love these things because I used to listen to my music and audiobooks on my way to work, but that wasn't really enough time to really enjoy the stuff I wanted to listen to, and plus now I work from home, so even that little bit of time has been taken from me.
You will not take it from me!
It's especially great because now I can listen to Star Wars audiobooks 24/7 without bothering the people around me, which is awesome. They're also great because I can just set down my phone and walk around and I've still got my music or my audiobooks with me wherever I go. And they are actually so comfortable that I have accidentally fallen asleep with them in more than once. And because of the wireless design of the earbuds, I can actually do yard work and stuff without the earbuds being pulled out of my ears by wires or other things getting caught on lawnmowers or sledgehammers or lightsabers. They also offer a wide array of color options, and I love mine. They're in this kind of like indigo blue color, which perfectly matches my lightsaber, and I think that is just absolutely awesome. And they are already really affordable for wireless earbuds at $80 for the everyday E25, which is the model that I personally use and seriously recommend. But also, if you click the link in the description, you will get 15% off your entire order, so if you don't already have a pair, this is the time to do it.
There is more knowledge here than anywhere else in the galaxy.
Master Kenobi says there are even texts here that are forbidden to be read.
During the days of the Republic, the Jedi Temple served as academy, home, and office. It was the place where young Jedi were brought to train, as well as the location where Jedi Masters lived, studied, meditated, and conducted their daily lives. While they weren't being actively deployed to other worlds, it was here that the Jedi were expected to live and make their home. At the peak of the massive spires that rose from atop the ziggurat, the Jedi Council chambers overlooked the Coruscant skyline, where the Jedi Masters who sat in this room could look out on the worlds that they had sworn to protect. Here, the Jedi Council made decisions on how to best serve the galaxy in accordance with the light. During the era of the Empire, after Order 66 and the fall of the Jedi, Palpatine took hold of the Jedi Temple, refitting it in his image and transforming it into his personal palace. In his final insult against the Jedi Order, he transformed their former Temple of Light, the place where generations of Jedi had once walked and fellowshipped, learned and studied, into the very seat of Sith power.
At last, the Jedi are no more.
Palpatine notes, rather humorously at that, how appropriate this was and how much of the groundwork for this transformation had already been done by the Jedi themselves long before he was even born.
Your arrogance blinds you, Master Yoda.
With how many important decisions were made in this place during the era of the Jedi, it was of the utmost importance that the temple be truly dedicated and consecrated to the light.
Well, it's not the first time we've been wrong recently, is it?
Since even the slightest taint of the dark side within these walls could have had a devastating effect on the integrity of the Jedi and therefore the safety of the galaxy as a whole. Of course, we know that by the last days of the Republic, the dark side of the Force had begun to cloud the Jedi's vision.
The dark side clouds everything.
While much of this was certainly due to the active role played by Palpatine and Plagueis, who hid the truth from the Jedi through Sith rituals and machinations, Palpatine comments that much of this work was done for them by the Jedi themselves.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Once he had claimed the Jedi Temple for himself, Palpatine thought back to his teachings at the foot of Plagueis, remembering a secret that was known only to the Jedi High Council and the lineage of the Sith.
And even the most powerful of the Jedi believed that the power inherent in the shrine had been neutralized and successfully capped.
From the time of Darth Bane, each Sith would tell his apprentice of an ancient Sith shrine, with the promise that one day a new Sith would rise up to openly reclaim the shrine and tap into the very source of the dark side itself.
Save for Sidious, no sentient being in close to 5,000 years had set foot in the shrine.
This shrine was left behind by pre-Bane era Sith, who abandoned it when the Jedi pushed them back off of Coruscant. Known only to those brought into the Rule of Two and, of course, the Jedi High Council. The Jedi who cast out the Sith thought to build their new Jedi Temple on top of the Sith shrine.
That the Jedi had raised their temple over the shrine had for 1,000 years been one of the most closely guarded secrets of those Sith Lords who had perpetuated and implemented the revenge strategy of the Jedi Order's founders.
In their arrogance, they hoped that the light of the Jedi and their new temple would be able to cap the power of the shrine and keep it from seeping into the galaxy. The Jedi were wrong.
In truth, that power had seeped upward and outward since its entombment, infiltrating the hallways and rooms above and weakening the Jedi Order, much as the Sith Masters themselves had secretly infiltrated the corridors of political power and toppled the Republic.
We will come back to the Sith Shrine in a minute, but this was not the only place wherein the dark side had a foothold within the Jedi Temple. In the Jedi Archives was another dark secret of the Jedi, the treacherous Bogan collection.
What? The Archive of Forbidden Artifacts.
We first learned of the Bogan collection in Dooku, Jedi Lost, where at the age of 14, Dooku's best friend Sifo Dyas found the forgotten journal of Teradine, a nearly forgotten Padawan troublemaker from the era of the High Republic who had faded into legend, only spoken of in the whispers of younglings and Padawans in the temple.
He vanished from Jedi history, only remembered by us and every other initiate that likes to gossip by the light of a glow lantern late at night.
Despite the fact that most level-headed Jedi discredited Teradine's existence as little more than a campfire story, Sifo had actually found the real journal of this troublemaker learning of secret passages and tombs within the Jedi Temple.
You should see the stuff in here, Do. New ways to sneak down to the stacks, how to find your way into the Bogan collection.
One of these secrets was a stained glass window within the library that was not a window at all, but actually a door. Guided by the journal, Sifo urged Dooku to use the Force to manipulate sand particles, breaking the lock of the false window and opening the latch.
I don't like sand.
Once inside, the two of them found a trove of Sith artifacts and dark side secrets.
Master Yoda told us the holocron was the only Sith artifact to survive the war.
Oh, Master Yoda lied.
Secrets that the Jedi believed were nullified and inert.
And even the most powerful of the Jedi believed that the power inherent in the shrine had been neutralized and successfully capped.
However, as the name suggests, the Bogan collection was anything but benign. Regarding the name, the term Bogan actually comes from George Lucas' original terminology for Star Wars: The Adventures of Luke Starkiller.
Starkiller.
And the word Bogan was the term that George Lucas had used to represent the dark side of the Force, with the word Ashla referring to the light.
By the Ashla.
In Legends, these words would eventually be recycled to refer to the twin moons of the Jedi homeworld, Tython, and the terms would be reintroduced again in canon through Star Wars Rebels, with the Lasat claiming to adhere to the Ashla.
The Ashla? The spirit of the galaxy.
Sounds like the Force.
Which would seem to be their word for the Force as a whole.
The Force has many names, Ezra.
Later in the series, the Bendu would refer to the light and the dark as the Ashla and Bogan, respectively, solidifying their definitions in canon.
Jedi and Sith wield the Ashla and Bogan, the light and the dark.
The Bogan collection was filled with items infused with the dark side, including ancient Sith warblades, dark side masks, and Darth Krall's lightsaber. Even though Sifo Dyas did not consciously notice it, Dooku was keenly aware of the power of the dark side being strong in this hiding place, even here protected by the light of the temple. That power overwhelmed Dooku as the dark side of the Force manifested itself before the young Padawan.
Dooku? Can't you hear it?
Hear what?
The beast below.
Okay, very funny. Drop the act.
The Jedi Council believed that these artifacts were neutered by the light of the temple, but that couldn't have been further from the truth. The dark side showed itself to Dooku, and he reacted defensively, pushing out with the Force. Relics flew from the shelves, displays caved in, and Sifo-Dyas was sent flying in the blast. When the two mischievous Padawans were caught, Dooku tried to describe what he saw. A vision of an ancient Sith power deep beneath the temple, a beast of dark side energy that had been sleeping deep below, but was now seeping up into the Bogan collection and flowing out to the temple, ready to rise up from the depths and devour the Jedi. Instead of listening to Dooku, the Jedi Masters wrote off these words as the manifestation of a young boy's overactive imagination. The Jedi knew that these artifacts were dark side in nature, and they knew the type of threat that could pose, and yet here they had a Padawan claiming to have come into contact with that power, and they still shrugged it off and said it's fine. While it is not directly confirmed in either book, if we combine the description of the Sith Shrine from Tarkin and Dooku's vision from Jedi Lost, I believe that the two are deeply linked. The beast that Dooku saw was a Tirataka, a terrible dragon used by the Sith in their wars. So, in Dooku's vision, he saw the power of the dark side seeping up from beneath the temple. We know, or at least are led to believe, that there are no actual Tirataka beneath the temple. There is, however, a Sith shrine. We also know from Tarkin that the power of that shrine has been seeping up to fill the temple with the dark side. I believe that Dooku feels this power from the shrine, and he knows it is the dark side, and his mind associates the presence of the dark side with the Tirataka, a beast through which he has felt the power of the dark side before. Now, it may seem like a stretch at first. The audiobook actually gives us a lot of clues as to why the dark side would take the form of a Tirataka to reveal itself to Dooku. First, the Tirataka dragon was deeply linked to Dooku's homeworld of Sereno as well as his family history, and it would become an important part of his own journey in the Force. It makes sense then that the dark side of the shrine would take the form of the Tirataka to reveal itself to Dooku. Dooku associated the dark side with the Tirataka, so upon sensing its presence, he would have no doubt made that connection in his spirit. But think for a moment about what Dooku was sensing. An ancient Sith power sleeping beneath the temple, rising up to devour the Jedi. And now compare that with what Palpatine says in the Tarkin novel about the Sith Shrine. The Sith Shrine and the Bogan Collection were both places within the Jedi's very temple wherein the dark side had a foothold. And we see confirmed in both books that this foothold was strong enough to influence the Jedi inside. As I mentioned earlier, I believe that the Bogan Collection even served as a conduit for the shrine. Almost like an extension cord where the power of the dark side below had a path to rise up easily and with less resistance. The shrine amplifying the Bogan Collection, and the Bogan Collection releasing the power of the shrine. In the end, it doesn't matter how. All that matters is that the dark side was present within the Jedi Temple. And I believe, as Palpatine said, that the Council's refusal to address this was instrumental in their downfall. But really, I want to know what you guys think. How big of a role do you think these dark artifacts played in the Jedi's weakness in the last days of the Republic? Do you believe that the Jedi were wrong to hoard these items in the same place where they opened themselves to the Force in meditation and study? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, because I want to know what you, my friends, have to say about our favorite galaxy far, far away. Thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Sponsorships really help out the channel, and if you are thinking about getting a pair of Raycons for yourself, clicking my link in the description is a great way to show your support to me, as well as getting an awesome pair of headphones. But if not, just know that your viewership is more than enough to show your support, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, may the lore be with you, now and forever.